Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. So today I have this video on Christmas makeup for you. I am also doing my kind of first impressions on these Real Techniques sponges. I've used the regular Miracle Complexion sponge before, but I had never used any of these other ones. So I thought I'd give some of them a try. And some of them are used wet and some are dry, so throughout the video I kind of show you how I use them. Getting started here, we're using my original brow product, the Milani Brow Fix. Louise Pentland recommended this, years and years ago, and it was the first brow product I ever bought, and it was really great. I recommend it for beginners because a powder is much easier to get the consistency right. So I'm zooming you guys in here, and we're gonna get started with the eyes today. I've already primed, as you could tell, and I'm hopping into the Morphe 350 palette for you. I wanted a kind of shimmery champagne look that I can pair with a red lip, as you saw at the beginning there. So I'm just buffing this color into the crease after I set the lid. There's Titan, my kitty. Had to give him a kiss, of course. And after I buff that into the crease, I'm taking this darker brown and I'm putting it just on the outer edge of the eyeball and blending it into the crease a little bit. Then I'm going into another color just to kind of blend those two together. And I'm going to create a cut crease for you. Now, I'm not the best at cut creases, I'm still new at it, but it's more of a half cut crease. So just at the front part so we can put down a shimmer shadow. And that's what I'm going to do. I tried the champagne color first, but it really isn't pigmented enough. So I went in with this very glittery shade instead, and I think this color looks gorgeous. I really do like it. I think it's very festive. And again, I'm blending the edges of that just a little bit so it's not so harsh. And highlighting the brow bone with that first white shade in the palette. Zooming out, we're going to get started on the face makeup before we finish up the eyes. Taking this matte and poreless foundation with this brush, and I'm using it dry. It says you can use it wet or dry, so that's how I'm using it. It does have two sides, one for foundation, and I use the other side later for, I believe, highlighter. And I'm following all the instructions on the packet for it because I want to use these things how they were designed, just to see how they turned out. I found the sponge a little weird at first, and I needed a little bit more product than I thought I did, and of course I poured too much, as you could see my face there. But I did get the hang of it, and I actually kind of like. It gives you a different look, more matte than when you wet the regular, like a beauty blender or the regular Real Techniques sponge. So I do kind of like it. It takes a bit longer to work with, but that could be because it was my first time. Now this is just a round Miracle Complexion sponge, exactly the same, but in a different shape. So I did wet it, as you can see, and it got larger. And now I'm taking my concealer and using that with a pinching motion to blend it out. Really, this performs exactly the same as a regular Miracle Complexion sponge, but it's just an odd shape. I think it'd be better off for foundation than concealer because it was just a little too big and clunky for that. I did take the lighter shade of concealer that I used for the cut crease earlier and highlighted the inner corner of my eyes a little bit because I did look a little tired this morning. I am also taking this sponge. I did wet it to use with pressed powder. Now, I don't use sponges with pressed powder ever. I know people do a lot, especially with baking and loose powders, but I really did like the way that this applied it. These sponges are all kind of crazy. So this one may be my favorite new discovery. I don't contour a lot. I mostly just use bronzer to bronze the skin, but I found this a really great way to do a contour. I use the pointy side for the original application and then the flat end to blend it around. I really like this sponge. I believe I used it dry as well. But I did want a little bit more bronze to the skin, so I took my brush and went in with the same Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer to blend that out. For Christmas makeup, I feel like rosy cheeks is a must, especially because I live in Florida. It doesn't get cold here, so I don't get the natural cold looking cheeks. Now, as you can see my face here, that double-ended sponge applied my highlighter insanely pigmented. I don't know if you can tell in the video, but oh my gosh, go light-handed if you're not looking for that insane highlight, but I really think that applies highlighter amazingly. So definitely recommend that sponge for that. Now, we're kind of repeating the same steps on the lower lash line that we did on the upper lash line. As you can see there, I did have to blend in the edge a little bit. I kind of messed it up with the sponge, so I just wanted to make sure it looked nice and blended and blown out. So yeah, just repeating the original steps on the bottom lash line. That champagne color is totally unnecessary, but I just wanted it to match the top. And I am using my Colourpop Flexitarian highlighter again to highlight my inner corners. I put a little wing with this black e.l.f. liner. Mine had dried up a little bit, it was hard to work with, but I do love this eyeliner. And I'm taking this Flower Beauty mascara on the upper and lower lash line. After some chapstick and some simple nude color Jordana lip liner, this matches my lips pretty well. It's just a little bit darker. I didn't have a red lip liner. And I was trying to decide between these three lipsticks. That NYX one is my absolute favorite for a really long time, and I really do like that Kathleen and Colourpop one. However, I think it's just a little too bright red for Christmas, so I went with the one called Bitchette, which is a great name for a lipstick. Anyway, so this is the completed look. I think it's very Christmassy. Christmas, I think, for makeup at least. I think glitter and red lips, and I think this is a great look to wear on Christmas Day, Christmas Eve, any Christmas parties you may have. So, Merry Christmas! I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please subscribe to my channel, that would be great. And I'll see you next time. Bye!